Yo, 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 what up, everybody? It's your boy, Julie Jules, and we are back with another This Ain't No Flophouse podcast. And again, we have the average sniper. He is blessing us with his presence. So thank you, average.
Of course, I'm very happy to be here.
Today, guys, we're just going to chat just about gaming and some of the games out there. Taylor Swift. And I'm sure we probably won't talk about Taylor Swift, but if we do, I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
You say that now.
I literally know nothing about Taylor Swift except for that you're in love with her and she's with Travis Kelce.
My lips quivering a little bit. Don't worry about it.
All right. So I'm just gonna ask you some things that I am wondering your thoughts on, and if
I might ask you some things too.
That's what I'm hoping for.
Like, one, why are you so short? There's clearly a 4-inch difference here. Am I crazy?
Yeah. See, I see what you did. You boosted your chair just for this talk so that you could seem like you're taller than me. Everybody, average is not taller than me. He's just not.
I mean, you see the evidence.
Neither
literally
is Jeezy.
Right in front of your face.
Jeezy thinks he's taller than me too. He's not taller than me.
Mm-hmm. I just remember what Skip said when he met us in person. You were like, what was your first impression when you met me? And he was like, I was surprised how short you were. And you were like, what about average? He was like, I was also surprised how short he was, although he was slightly taller than you.
You just added in that last part.
It's recorded.
It didn't happen if there's no proof. We need proof of that.
Okay.
Maybe Skip will be watching and he can, confirm or deny, if he said that or not.
Okay.
But all right, average. I wanted to talk about some PUBG. Looks like there's some new content coming out. You've had some videos talking about the updates as well as the new map. What are your thoughts on PUBG? Are they doing enough to bring people back to PUBG? And if not, what could they do to get people back on PUBG?
I guess that depends on if we're talking about PUBG as a whole or PUBG as a region, because there are certain regions of the globe where PUBG is incredibly popular, the same way that Fortnite, Apex, and Warzone are popular here. So if we're talking about our region, North America, I would say they're basically doing the bare minimum just to keep people playing. They're not really too interested in pulling players back in. However, I have noticed Shroud and Dr. Disrespect and Dr. Lupo and some other prominent streamers playing. And I know the only reason they're playing is because PUBG is promoting the new Rondo map. So they're getting paid to play, which is fine. I mean, that's what their job is, and that's what PUBG's job is. That's a great way to promote the game. So I think they are trying a little bit, but there's a lot more they could be doing, especially in the North American region. Europe is good. North America has a falling off player base when it comes to PUBG, and Australia has no players. If you ever read comments from Australian players, they're like, we can't play anymore because there's no lobbies at all, Yeah. So I think they're continuing to do what they always do. They're hyping up updates and just they're doing the PUBG thing. That's it.
Well, with their are they doing a better job at it now? It seems like
they're still doing updates.
Right.
So yeah, and they're paying streamers to play the game again. So I would say they are doing a better job of it, but probably because they're realizing that there's so many issues with people cheating and people leaving the game. And it's especially bad if you play in a region that's more populated, like Europe. You can ask World Clubber. He plays that game religiously. I mean, lots of people play the game, but as far as people I know, he's the only one I know that plays it as much, if not more, than I play it. And he runs into cheaters every time he plays. I run into cheaters almost every time I play. So PUBG is definitely doing the bare minimum, maybe just a little above bare minimum, by actually paying some popular streamers to play the game again. Right. And that's going to get some people interested, because you know how people are. They're going to play the games their favorite streamers are playing. But as soon as those streamers start playing another game, they're just going to move on to whatever game, the streamer is playing. So
Right.
they could be doing a lot more. I think the main thing they need to do is focus on the cheater issue. Lots of games have problems with cheaters. It's not just a PUBG thing, but I don't think PUBG is handling it as well as some other games have. So there's lots of things they could be doing to get the cheaters banned or stop them completely.
So is PUBG does PUBG use the easy anti-cheat, or do they have their own anti-cheat? Because like I don't understand. And then also after, to add on to that question, like why do you think nobody or these companies don't want to pay for the AI anti-cheat to kind of help get the cheaters out of the game?
PUBG actually is using AI anti-cheat called Zakynthos. I
Okay.
think that's the name of it. It's hard to pronounce, but I think it's Zakynthos. And apparently it is an iteration of the AI anti-cheat we've been seeing, but AI takes time to train. And it seems like it's good at banning people that have already been reported a whole bunch of times, but that's about it. I was hoping for a lot more from an AI anti-cheat than just that. Now, having said that, I don't know if this is a really advanced AI anti-cheat or if this is some old thing that they've always had for a while, because I'm seeing a lot of awesome things about the new AI anti-cheat systems. Having said that, no matter what new system is implemented, it's going to be available not only for game developers, but also for hackers that create the cheats. So you create a system that combats cheats with AI, the hackers will create an AI system that keeps the cheats going. So it's always going to be a back and forth battle, but hopefully we'll see improvement with the AI anti-cheat being better than the hackers. So you see a serious reduction. Like they're still there, but instead of seeing one every time you play, maybe you only see one like once a week.
That would be
That
huge.
that would be like best case scenario, because
Yeah.
I see them like 2 or 3 times every time I play.
Yeah.
It's like 2 or 3 games just got ruined by somebody that's cheating. And the cheats are so advanced now. A lot of times when people are watching, they're like, oh, that guy's not cheating. Anybody could have done that. I'm like, you're only looking at the bullets. You have to look at like 1 or 2 minutes leading up to what happened. Like, how did they know I was there? Were they looking at me through the wall when they approached me? It's not all about just did they hit all headshots and have no recoil. There's so many advanced cheats out there now that make it look like it's an actual player playing. There's AI cheats out there that play the game for you and they miss on purpose. So how are you going to tell what's going on? You just have to have serious experience with the game, or you have to have an AI that understands the difference between a human moving a mouse or a controller and artificial intelligence doing it.
Right.
But I'm not a programmer or game dev. I'm just speaking from the experience of a player and just a background in IT.
Yeah. I mean, let's not act like you're not a a very smart person. Like if I
Oh,
were
thank
gonna
you.
I mean, if I were gonna, like I knowing you and knowing like how smart you are, the things that you can do, I would, if I were to be creating a game, I would try to hire you
Oh,
to.
I appreciate the compliment, but I would think my smarts are just more like my expertise. I just grew up around computers, so I'm not saying I'm not a smart person, but I'm saying you're making my head too big. I know a lot about computers because that's my job, and I grew up with them. So
All right.
that doesn't make me smart. That just makes me good at my job.
Okay. So like with this new map, like are you excited for it, or like what are your thoughts?
I'm excited that there's a new map coming because it's going to be good for content. As from just a player perspective, not that excited. It's not that big a deal. They're always releasing new maps. They're always hyping them up. It seems like we get at least 1 or 2 new maps per year. I would like I said, I would like to see something other than a new map. Like I will play a lot more than average when the new map comes out for a few days, like everybody will, but that's going to be it. There's not going to be like a mass amount of players coming back to the game because there's a new map.
Right.
They're probably going to get more players back to the game while the popular streamers are playing it. But for me, from a streamer perspective, I'm excited about it because it's more content to stream, more content to make videos out of. From a player perspective, I would much rather see a big update that says, hey, we have a huge advancement in making sure that there's a fair uh, playing field for all players in the game. Yes, there's still going to be cheaters, but we've reduced them by 85% or something like that. I'd be like, yes, I'm going to play 8 hours a day now. And a lot of other people would too. So I think it's less about the content they pump out and more about the improvements they can make to the game. Not just about cheaters, but about everything.
Yeah.
So
I feel like they are kind of sitting on their hands. Like there's things that I feel like that, and you probably feel the same way, that they could do to like really enhance like the game to make it more enjoyable to even play. And then instead of that, they are concentrating on other things that,
Content.
yeah. And I think that sometimes simple is better, so
Yeah.
take care of the simple things and then worry about the other stuff, and then you'll keep
Yeah.
your player base.
Or just have a balance about it, don't
Right.
don't put all your effort into microtransactions. There's different player base. Some people play the game so they can just unlock skins, so there always has to be a skin store and things going on for progression, because that's a huge part of the player base. Some people play the game just because they love PUBG. Some people play the game just because it's the only thing they know, or they're just trying to get into it. There's all kinds of different reasons people are going to play a game. So it's got to be a perfect balance. If they focus like only on graphics and forget about the gameplay, eventually people are going to be like, yeah, the game looks pretty, but the gameplay sucks. They haven't improved it in forever. They haven't nerfed, the meta weapons or done anything. But they're pretty good about that. I mean, it is a live service game, so they're always coming out with big updates. But in my opinion, they should have done like a PUBG 2 a long time ago, or they should have started working on one for the Unreal 5 engine instead of the Unreal 4 engine, because Unreal 4 has been around for so long, and PUBG is still using its original programming. It's been highly optimized, but it's still easy for people to exploit that. I would like to see them try and move on to a more modern game engine, or maybe even something we've never even seen before, like a full cloud service, where there would still be cheats, but the standard aimbots and wall hacks just wouldn't work anymore. Cheaters would have to upgrade their game and pay higher subscriptions to the hackers, who have to come out with more AI cheats to be more advanced. So I think there's a whole bunch of things they could do. And I think it's all back end things, like less about graphics, less about content, less about optimization, and more about moving the game to the next level, because it's still a super popular game. We wouldn't even be having this conversation if PUBG was a completely dead game.
Right.
Comparatively, it is dead. I mean, if you go from 3 to 5 million players down to a couple 100,000 or 300,000 some, that could be considered a dead game. But it's still actually a lot of players, and it's still in the top 10 most played games on Steam. It's still heavily played on console. So the game's still alive, and there's still a chance for them to, move on to the next level. And I don't think that has anything to do with microtransactions or graphics updates or optimization. I think it has to do with PUBG 2, or simply making a huge update that gets rid of that old programming and the old code. And it's still PUBG, but it's been reprogrammed from scratch. It still looks, feels, and plays like PUBG, but it can't be hacked and exploited as easily anymore.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly like what kind of, like, I enjoy the game. Like, I didn't stop playing it just because it wasn't fun. I mean, the game is still fun.
But you still play it though. Are you talking about when you originally like started playing like Warzone and stuff?
Yeah, because I just feel like
when you stop playing it exclusively, you mean?
Yeah.
I got you.
But the game, like, for like the developers to just be, like I said, sitting on their hands, I'm just like, I'm not going to keep on putting time and energy into a game that I feel like could be so much better, but they're not doing the little things to make it that much better. So what's the new map called?
Rondo.
Okay, so do you realize that Rondo's coming out, I think, on the exact same day as Warzone? Like why would they do that?
I don't think they really consider that too much, because Warzone is more of a North American thing. I think they're more focused on like the Southeastern, or what is it, Southeastern Asia player base, where they have the most players, and Europe, where PUBG is still more popular than Warzone. Warzone, I think, is very popular in North America, but Europe still is basically PUBG when it comes to Battle Royale. Southeast Asia is definitely all about PUBG. So I think it's easy for us living here to be like, oh man, what, they're making all these stupid decisions. But if we lived in a country where they were all about PUBG and it was the most popular game, we'd probably have a different opinion, and we wouldn't even be thinking about what day Warzone comes out, because it wouldn't even apply to us,
Yeah.
It only applies to us because we live here. Now, from if they do have a North American department that made that decision, I would say that's really dumb. Like, maybe wait like a week after that. So people kind of are like, all right, we tried the new Warzone, and oh shit, now there's a new PUBG. Let's try that, you know? And
Right.
I wouldn't do it before because everybody's just going to switch over to Warzone. But if you do it after the hype for the new Warzone dies down, then yeah, that's probably a better chance. As a player, from a player's point of view, I would say I would have a much better chance of playing PUBG after I got tired of the new Warzone update, or after the initial, like, oh my God, this is so sweet, wears off, when I'm like, oh yeah, it's just Warzone. I forgot.
Yeah.
So,
So I came into your stream the other day and I was trying to get you to play Battlefield 5 Firestorm. And
this interview's over.
the reason for that, okay, so like before that, I had seen a video from
Oh,
Jack
wait,
Frag.
actually, sorry, hold on 1 second.
Yeah.
I put my Celsius in the freezer and I'll have to get it before it completely. I'll be right back.
All right.
What you know about this JJ merch, huh?
Oh shit.
Oh, you ain't wearing the average sniper merch. That's cool.
You never. Oh yeah. I mean, you did give me a T-shirt, but it's too cold for a T-shirt right now.
T-shirt, hat.
Yeah, I can't wear the hat. The hat
sex
is.
Toy.
I did not get a average sniper sex toy, but that's a good idea.
It's okay. I don't believe you. I'm just gonna sip on this fantasy vibe. Please sponsor me, Celsius. Thank you.
Celsius is actually like really good. Like I really like those.
Pretty sure their caffeine is fake though, but
I'm sure, but it makes you feel good inside. So like I was saying,
trying to get me to play a dead ass game, Battlefield Firestorm. Man,
the reason why is because, and look, I don't know if he was paid to do it, but Jack Frags had came out with a video talking about, he was playing Firestorm to see if there's still some lobbies. And then like shortly after his video, like the player base skyrocketed out of nowhere. So people were
that's what we were just talking about.
Right.
Where a streamer plays an old game or a game that's not doing so good, and all of a sudden everybody's trying it out again. But then the next day it's done, unless the streamer's still playing it.
Right. I don't know. I just think that Firestorm didn't get the real chance to be great.
Yeah,
but I also feel like they
could have.
Yeah, they didn't put the time.
Yeah. Remember how bad looting was?
Yes.
They like tried to make it like Fortnite, but you had to pick stuff up and there would be like 5 different types of ammo all inside each other.
Yeah.
Grenades inside. It was like one like supermassive black hole of loot, and you had to, and you died most of the time when you died looting, it was because you had to stand there for 30 seconds trying to pick the exact thing. Like,
right. And then you get sniped by somebody from across the map. Yeah.
So many people quit. Firestorm was really fun though when it first came out. I remember I got my first dub within like the first 3 hours of playing, and I was like, finally I got a video of my first win.
And it did good.
You know? Yeah. Well, the one that did really good was the Blackout one.
Yes,
I got my first win
Blackout.
the night that Blackout came out. I just uploaded the raw video, took a random screenshot of like my gun and a river in the background. I uploaded it. I woke up in the morning, it has like 500,000 views. I was like, oh, what the fuck? That was great. And now it has like 3.7 million views or something.
That's crazy.
I don't know. Yeah, I wish all my videos did that good.
So are you really serious about, like, if I could get 20 people on top of all the other people in the world that are playing Firestorm, like if I get like 20 people and we can queue into a solo match all together, like you would not be down for that? I just want to know.
It's content. I would be down for it as content. I just see. I don't like going back to dead games because I know it's just like it's not going to last. You know what I mean? So I'm like, why am I investing my time and energy in this when it's not going to last? But I would do it for the content, to share it, to share that. That's the whole reason I like the game, is to share my experience with other people. So
right.
I still think it's crazy nut job idea. You're definitely a total nut job for even considering it, but I could get in on it if we could get a whole lobby going.
Okay. I mean, it is kind of crazy because, like I'm saying this a few days before Warzone drops and before the PUBG Rondo map comes out. So it's
No, I
you
think
said,
nostalgic videos do really good. I think it'd be good for content. How many times are you on YouTube and you see a video that says playing dead games and it's got like 500,000 views? Like people love that nostalgic feeling,
right.
just watching it. So I would do it for the content, but I don't know if I would do it for like a full on like live stream. I don't think a lot of people would watch, but as a video,
Okay.
I think people will watch a video. Like I went back and tried Firestorm, with my friends and we got a whole lobby going in solos. That'd probably be some good content.
All right. So you just tell me when. Just tell me
I'd be
when.
surprised though. I mean, my community is a great community, but there's different kinds of communities. My community is made up of people that like to watch my content,
Yeah.
Even though I have a lot of subscribers, when I do members day, there's only like 10 people that join in. So I highly doubt, even with my large amount of subscribers, that people still have Battlefield Firestorm or would be willing to buy it just to play, for a couple hours. So we can try it, but
Like I
I'm not
said,
sure. I'm not
CD
sure if it'll go anywhere.
Like I said, CD Key had it for like $13, some for like 11. I don't know exactly how to use CD Key. I've never used it, but I am
Those
told
are
to use.
you got to be careful with those because a lot of those games for sale are from banned accounts that have been banned for cheating. Last time I bought a game on there, I tried to sign into it and it said this account has been VAC banned. I was like, great, I just lost 50 cents. Son of a bitch.
Son of a... Okay, I didn't know all that, but
Yeah, there's a lot of those places like you could play the campaign and everything, but if you try to go on multiplayer, not all the time, but a lot of the reason they're so cheap is because their accounts are multiplayer banned. So
okay.
that could be a problem.
Yeah, because I wouldn't want anybody to pay full price. I don't even want to pay full price.
They should make it free. The developers should have the same idea as you. They should be like, holy crap, like 5 people just signed in to play Firestorm. This is a 5,000% increase from yesterday when 0 people.
Yeah, exactly.
We should make it free. And how crazy would that be if Battlefield, doing so bad right now, just came out with an announcement like, guess what, guys? We just revamped Firestorm and now it's free to play Battle Royale. We don't know if anybody will play it, but have fun. Dude, all they would have to do is do the same thing PUBG is doing, play a few big streamers to log in on release day, and it would be populated, and people would stick around too if they actually made it good, unlike last time. Like the gameplay mechanics and the fights were good, but the looting and the service, every time there was a bug or a glitch, it was like, we'll fix it in 6 months. It's like,
right.
I don't know if I can deal with it for that long,
Yeah.
Like, jeez.
I also think like the amount of players on the map was like way lower than what it needed to be for that big map. They only had 64 players and they could have easily done 100. I mean,
there was a lot of downtime.
Yeah. And then, but I did see a video the other day and I can't even like, I can't remember who it was from, but they said that Battlefield, like ex-Battlefield like workers, like employees, said that there is a new battle royale that they are working on for Battlefield that's going to be part of Battlefield 7 or something like that.
They should just make an extraction shooter instead of a battle royale. They should do like, because I really want to get into one.
No, they tried that. They tried that.
What did they try it with? Yeah, but they didn't really hype that up. That was like, oh, hey, we have TDM, Conquest, Hazard Zone. And, it's like they didn't really do anything. It was just like this game mode that a couple people tried and like never went back to.
Yeah, I don't know. It
was weird.
It was bad. It was bad.
Yeah, but extraction shooters are getting more popular now. Like I would love to. I was talking about this the other day. If PUBG were to make an extraction mode, I could totally get into that. If Battlefield were to make an extraction mode, hype it up and not make it seem like it's just some cash grab that they're trying. People can sense that. You know what I mean? Like when a company is just like doing something for a cash grab. But if they put their heart and soul into it, like they used to with the old Battlefields, like Battlefield 4 or Battlefield, all the Battlefields up to Battlefield 4, skip Hardline. Hardline was a good game, but I don't think they put a lot of effort into it. It was a good game. I liked it, but the majority of the community, of the Battlefield community, absolutely hated it. And I can see why, because after I went and tried Battlefield 4 and compared it to Battlefield Hardline, I'm like, these are two completely different games. Like you can hardly even compare them. I thought it
Yeah,
was a good game, but it was the first Battlefield I ever played. I think Battlefield 1 was the last one that was like really epic. The next two that came
I
after
agree.
that,
I agree.
5 and 6, I think, were just, what's the current Battlefield?
2042.
2042. That's right. Battlefield 5 and then Battlefield 2042. I felt like there was very low effort in those games. They just felt like they had to release something, so they did. The community felt that too. They stopped playing it. But if they were to just be like, F it, we're making a battle royale or an extraction shooter, and we're going to put all our energy into this. When there's a bug, we're going to fix it. We're going to listen to you guys as a community and really consider your feedback, and we will not wait 6 months to fix the little things that come up. I would totally be down to that. That's why I still play PUBG, man, because these other battle royales are good. Warzone is great. Apex is great. Fortnite is great. I might not agree with everything they do, and I might not personally like them. But as far as like game development and like player retention and the game design, they're awesome. They're just not my cup of tea. You know,
Right.
I would much rather stick with the PUBG, which walks a fine line between this is a video game and this is a simulation. You know, obviously you can play in third person. You can like magically seat swap and shoot people out the window. So it's got that fun, like fast paced video game, but it also feels like a slow paced, realistic shooter at the same time. That's what I like, you know. And then you have the other game like Tarkov, which you have to spend, 200 hours just learning how to load your bullets into a mag. It's like, all right, you went too far for me. This is like not a video game anymore. It's like a milsim. I don't want to spend my time learning how to do this. So I would love to see some kind of extraction shooter or battle royale from a company that's going to make a semi-realistic game and actually take care of it.
I don't know. I mean, I get what you're saying, but for myself, like I couldn't. I just can't get into extraction shooters because
Well, you're a battle royale all the way.
I am, but like it's because extraction shooters have AI, right? Like or like
Yeah, it's PvEVP.
yeah,
So,
but and like I don't want to be like I want to go up against other players and that's it. Like I just want to like
exclusively.
yeah, like
But
are
even
you better
Warzone
than
has
me?
bots now, does it not?
Yes, but they're trying not to.
Apex has bots, Fortnite has bots, Warzone has bots, PUBG has bots. The AI bots are just becoming a normal thing. Even for games that have a good player population, they're putting them in for skill-based matchmaking so that if you have people that are like incredibly bad at the game or brand new and they don't want to put them in with a bunch of experienced players that have already been playing the game for hundreds of hours more than them, they put them in with bots, for
Yeah,
at least until they start doing better.
right. And I understand that part. I mean, even if it's just for
But
like
you're
little
talking about a
kids.
game that's kind of designed for that, like almost like a quest-based type of game where you're going to be going to do this mission and you're going to be playing it like it's a campaign, but there's a chance that some real players might show up and f you up and you have to fight them. I kind of like that, honestly. It's a cool.
I don't mind that if it's like I I don't like what you just explained. I don't mind, but I guess I don't know. I just feel like the extraction shooters are all like really slow, and I just
Well, you
can't.
probably would have played more DMZ if you were into them, right? Because DMZ was all about that. I mean, it was an extraction shooter with the fast-paced Call of Duty feel.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did
Speaking of
they
Call of
shut that
Duty,
down? I saw
yeah,
some
yeah,
thing
yeah.
on my YouTube that said this is why they shut DMZ down. I was like, I didn't know they shut it down.
I think they shut it down because they want people to play zombies. They can't have zombies and DMZ competing against each other. You know what I'm saying? So
Have you played the
otherwise,
zombies?
I haven't. I haven't.
Me
I haven't
neither.
played zombies since Black Ops 2. I don't think.
Apparently, this is a new zombies experience that people criticized at first, but now they're actually coming around and saying they like it, according to everything I've been seeing on my For You page and Reddit.
Mm, yeah, I haven't. I mean, I don't know. Like Sharples will like tell me I need to play it, and I'm just like I don't know.
I saw
But
Gary in your chat the other day telling you to play it. He's a huge
yeah,
zombies fan.
is he?
I played zombies with him and a couple of his friends. They were like professional zombies players. I was like, dude, I really feel like I'm dragging you guys down because they would be like, do this, do this, do this. I'm like, you guys understand that this zombies mode in Call of Duty has been around for like over a decade, and it's way more than just about shooting zombies. Like you got like the pack of punches, the upgrades. I'm like, and you can't just shoot the zombies. You have to like herd them and know the
Yeah.
map. I'm like, I'm dragging you guys down. Like I don't even like this. I don't know why you invited me to play. It was kind of fun, but I was like, I would really have to learn a lot to be good at zombies. Like, it is way more than just shooting heads off of zombies.
Right.
Way more.
It don't ever put Gary in any sentence that has professional in it. Okay. Gary is no professional. He is a professional jerk face.
He's a professional in my heart.
Okay. All right. But okay, since we're on the topic of COD, like what do you like? I know you've seen like some of my streams, and like I don't know if you watch anything like any other people, but like what are your thoughts on Modern Warfare 3 that you've seen, and like do you plan on playing any Call of Duty?
I really want to play it because it has the MW2 maps, and that was the first Call of Duty I ever got into was MW2. But I'm not going to spend $70 on it. Not because I can't afford it, but because I do agree with the community that it should have just been a DLC for the last MW. In fact, from what I can tell, from what the little details that people have scavenged up, even the development team was surprised when the heads, whoever's in charge said, we're going to move forward with this as a separate Call of Duty instead of the MW2 add-on. I think it was a huge cash grab. I think it was a good idea to remake the MW2 maps, but a bad idea to package them as MW3, because that doesn't even make sense. Why would you make MW3 and just have all the maps from MW2? Like, that's great that you have those maps, but why call it MW3?
Right.
And why isn't it a DLC? And even if it is a separate game, it still doesn't make sense because MW3 was different than MW2 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So why is today's MW3 all the MW2 maps from 2009? Like, I love those maps, but I don't understand why it costs $70, why it's a separate game, and why it's called MW3. Why not just call it MW2 Multiplayer Remastered?
Right.
Everybody would have bought that. Make it $30. Yeah. Dude, they probably would have doubled their sales.
Definitely.
Like, what? What are they thinking?
That's
why I haven't bought it, because I can't justify. At some point, you got to draw the line and be like, I'm not going to support these cash grabs. So even though I really want to play this game, I will wait for it to go on sale or for a cheap version of it to like be resold or something on an account that's not banned from multiplayer. So I really want to, but there's no way I'm paying more money to Call of Duty for just their same old recycled bullshit, Right. Like, I got nothing against people that do, but for me, I had to draw the line like a year ago and be like, I'm not going to buy the Call of Duties anymore just to play them for a week. It's just not worth the $70.
I totally agree. I mean, that was my initial, advice to anybody that came into the stream asking if it was worth it. I'm like, it's a great game. Like, it feels great. It looks great, but this should only be $30. Like,
yeah, exactly.
But I mean, the only reason why I bought it is because obviously, like, I'm looking for new content. I'm looking for I don't know, just something new to play. Even though Call of Duty is the same thing every year, but it's just like I knew I was going to be playing some Warzone.
I do that too,
Yeah.
Grab the new Call of Duty, play it for like a week until I can drop a nuke, and then never play it again, basically. Just like, here, I got the nuke gameplay. Now I'm going back to my regular game. But
to be honest, like, I've played this multiplayer more than I played the Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer.
Yeah, like, because it's nostalgic. Yeah. MW2 maps from 2009. I watch you playing on Terminal. I'm like, don't peek, oh, you peeked. Never peek that corner. It's nostalgic, man.
Yeah. Are you going to play any Warzone or no?
No, I'm done with Warzone. Okay. It would take a miracle for me to play Warzone. It would take a major miracle. I was hanging out with one of my friends paddleboarding the other day, and we randomly were talking about like having kids and stuff. And I was like, I'm not going to have kids. I never wanted to have kids. I'd say it would take a massive miracle for me to have kids. And she was like, what kind of miracle would it take at this point in life? I'd be like, it would have to be Taylor Swift proposing to me. That'd be the only way I'd reconsider like having kids with somebody. That kind of miracle, like never going to happen kind of miracle. So, yeah.
Okay. All right.
That's what kind of miracle it would take to get me to play Warzone. Taylor Swift would have to show up at my house like with a console or gaming computer and be like, hey, I saw you online. I know you're in love with me. Let's just play some Warzone. I'd be like,
okay. I guess. Okay. I mean, I tried, I
I
tried.
don't like it. I don't like the movement. I don't like how arcadey it is. I don't like how it has massive aim assist. I don't like how people have modified controllers. I don't like the strike packs. I don't like people using aim assist with keyboard and mouse. I don't like the crossplay. I don't like the massive amount of cheaters. I mean, if I make a list of pros and cons, the pro would be playing with friends, and the cons would be everything I just listed. So
Yeah.
I'm like, why do I want to punish myself? Like, if you enjoy it and you can get past all that, that's great. I don't think I can though.
I mean, I'll see. I'll see how long I can, play it before getting upset with
Yeah.
blatant cheaters. Like you can tell.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand like the kill cams are kind of janky, but you can tell what's natural and what's not natural.
Yeah, and sometimes just like in PUBG, you're really like, wow, was that guy's a real high rank? You know, maybe he did pull off that sick shit. But when you see like a level fucking 2 doing it, you're like, wow, okay, nobody's that lucky, buddy. You
Right.
know, like damn, that was crazy. But I could say the same thing about PUBG, like in my list of cons, but there would definitely be more pros. That's why I stick with PUBG because personally I like it more. My community likes it more too. You see what happens. I mean, I can do a stream and get like 5,000 views on it of PUBG, and I can do a stream of something else and get like 1,000 views, Like my
Right.
community really wants to see PUBG. And it's not that I'm just stuck playing only PUBG. It's that I enjoy it, and I'm the one that's perpetuated that and continued to play it and decided I don't like all these other games. Because when I was playing Warzone, there was a point where I was getting way more views than PUBG. Remember that? I would just
Yeah.
randomly get like 3 to 5,000 viewers
Yeah.
because some big streamer would finish and my stream would get recommended. So if I was really interested in just the YouTube aspect of it, I would have kept doing that, even though I hated it because it was slowly pumping my numbers up. But I couldn't keep doing it. I was like, I'm going back to PUBG.
Yeah.
So I know my viewers, when another actually good game does come out that people like better than PUBG, they will transition with me, you know, to the next game. But
Right.
for now, my viewers have like the same opinion as me. Like, we don't like these other battle royales. We like that you still play PUBG. So when another one does come out that's better than PUBG, I'm sure all my people will understand. There's going to be some hardcores, like there's still 5 players left in the world playing PUBG, so you should too. But I mean, that's going to be the minority of people. Most people are going to see the new game, whatever it is, for how good it is, and be like, yeah, this is the next big thing. I just don't think that Warzone, Apex, or Fortnite is the next big thing. It's just the same as everything else. There's got to be something new. Like, we could have had this discussion 7 years ago, and we would have never thought that battle royale would just take over like it did. There could be something that happens tomorrow that we haven't even imagined, and that's like, even though you're such a hardcore battle royale fan, it could be something so new and so like, my god, I can't believe I never thought of this before, that you can't help but just get sucked into it, just like PUBG did to us.
Right.
That's kind of what I'm waiting for,
I
the next
mean,
thing that nobody sees coming.
I have ideas of something that's never been seen, but I'm not gonna give any ideas to somebody else. You know what I'm saying?
You're not supposed to show those pictures I sent you to anybody. Those are never to be seen.
Oh, um, like ever?
Ever.
Well, there goes that because I already
Your
sent
eyes
it to.
only.
I sent it to everybody.
Oh
All
shit.
right. So speak on, you said like something new coming out. Like, is there any games out there that you're looking forward to? Like, or is it just like nothing has caught your eye yet?
Well, there's some, I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but Crafton, the PUBG Studios, is developing another game. We don't have a lot of details on it. That's the only thing that's really I've been following, just like the little updates, but there's like almost none. It's almost like one level above a rumor. That's like how little information we have on it. Other than that, no, there's nothing else that's got my attention. Every time I hear about a new battle royale, I'm just like, yeah, well, we have 1,000 battle royales. Most of them people have never even heard of or don't even play. We've already got the big boys in the room now. When Call of Duty decided to step in and join Fortnite and PUBG, and then Apex come out, that kind of established like the hierarchy. It's really hard for people to move away from those because battle royale requires a lot of players, so I don't really get excited about anytime I hear about a new battle royale like being developed. I mean, unless it's from like some huge publisher that can really push their game to like millions of people no matter what it is, I'm like, I'm still waiting for the next big thing.
Yeah.
The next big thing might be, if PUBG decides to do that update we were talking about, where they just make a brand new version, or like I said, I'm hoping it's something that comes out of left field that nobody has even considered, and you kind of smack yourself when it comes out. You're like, how did I not like see this coming? This was such a huge thing and I didn't even know it.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what Battle Royale did. Circling back to that, I mean, that's why there's nothing new I've heard about that I'm really interested in, because it seems like the same old stuff. Sometimes I wish I was a story mode gamer where I could play single player games for the story, because I could get hyped about like the Spider-Man games coming out, and all the like the PS exclusives, the Xbox exclusives, the games. I would be like in heaven playing all those games, but I'm not, man. I'm a multiplayer gamer. I only enjoy it if I can like interface with other players, and so Battle Royale is the only thing that really does it for me right now. So there's like nothing I'm excited about in gaming. I'm just like, I'll just keep playing PUBG, I guess.
Yeah, and that's why I'm like shocked that I've been playing Modern Warfare 3 for the last like 3 weeks or almost a month now. But I guess it's because I know Warzone's coming out, but like no multiplayer, like Black Ops 2, like I could get on every single day, 8 hours a day and have a great time. But then like as soon, and then like, I started playing the Battlefields and Battlefront, like those games were extremely fun. But then when I played PUBG, it was like literally like I just like lost my mind at like the heart pumping like thrill.
It was a new experience.
Yeah. And I had never even, so I didn't even play H1Z1 until after I played PUBG. So like I didn't even know about this genre. I didn't know like that feeling of like your heart's just pumping and like adrenaline's going, like until I played PUBG for the first time.
Yeah, I only knew it from H1Z1. I played H1Z1 for like almost a year. I only ever got one win on PC, H1Z1. It was incredibly difficult. So when PUBG came out, I was like, because in H1Z1 you can't aim down sights unless you have the sniper rifle. Yeah, and people got so good at certain weapons, and it was all about single fire and double tapping headshots and stuff. It was very hard to get into. I was surprised that I tried to get into it because there were already so many good players. But I remember I got my one win after playing it for almost a year, and then PUBG came out, and then I was just all on PUBG. I felt like an expert at PUBG when it first came out because I had played H1Z1 with all the sweats that were so much better than me. So when PUBG came out and all these people were running around having never played a Battle Royale, no idea what they were doing, I'm just like, headshot, headshot, headshot. I'm like, I'm getting way more wins in this than I ever did in H1Z1. This is awesome.
Yeah.
So I knew what Battle Royale was, but I was still surprised by how PUBG did it. I was like, here's a third person game. Because when it did come out, it was kind of emulating H1Z1. It was only third person. You could switch to first person, but the lobbies were all third person lobbies. And that's the same way H1Z1 worked. They were all third person lobbies, but you could switch to first person in game if you wanted to.
And I think, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Like, I really don't understand like why they brought in a first person mode. Like, was it just for competitive play? Because like as you see, Fortnite's very, very competitive and they're stuck with the third person. H1Z1 was very competitive and they stuck with third person. Like, why divide the community like that? Like,
well, when they first did it, they had enough players that they could have added 10 different perspectives in, and they still would have had populated lobbies. Nowadays, it's more of an issue because you would get lobbies a lot easier if people weren't choosing between which perspective they wanted to play in, which is why they've had to take away like duos from third person. And, like you can't choose your own maps anymore. As the player population goes down, we get less and less options. So it groups us in more together. I think, it started like that because it was made in Korea. And if you ever look at a survey of which perspective people prefer to play in Europe and North America, everybody seems to like the first person type of mode, probably because we grew up playing Call of Duty and Battlefield and first person mode games. So it feels very natural. Mm-hmm. But in the Southeast Asian countries, most people prefer to play third person. Now, I don't know why that is, but that's just how it is. So I think the game was designed in Korea. And so they just designed it third person, probably without even thinking about it. And then it got so big and so popular on the other side of the world. And people were saying, I wish there was a first person mode only, blah, blah, blah. And that was like the main thing. I wish there was a first person mode. They probably were like, yeah, that's a good idea. We've got millions of players. why not let them play first person? All we got to do is we already have the first person perspective. Now we just got to lock it into a lobby, you know? So in my mind, it was a no brainer because it catered more to North America and Europe, which is exactly what they should do. But as the player population decreases, now it's a problem because it's like, I could care less about the hate people give each other. Oh, you like third person. Who cares about all that? I'm more worried about player population. Like, why is it going to take me 10 minutes to load into a match? If you would just make it one perspective. And I really don't give a shit what perspective it is. I enjoy third person, but if they were going to take away third person, that wouldn't stop me from playing PUBG. I'd just switch right over to first person, no problem. It always takes me a little while to get used to it because I have to remember not to be so cavalier with just like peeking around a corner. You know, I have to be more careful. But a few days of playing it and I'm into it, you know, like I never had problems playing in first person lobbies. So I think they did it to cater more to this audience in this region. And now it's just kind of backfiring as the population decreases.
Right. I like a lot of people would come in like into like this was like when I was only playing PUBG, and I know you get the question as well. They'd be like, "Why are you playing TPP? Why don't you play FPP? You're a noob." And it's just like people don't understand that PUBG was made for third person. It is optimized better for third person than first person. And
the way they designed the maps was definitely with peaking in mind, if that's what you mean. Yeah.
I mean, not even that. I mean, the whole like, I don't know. I just feel like in first person, it's like the player seems a little like it's always felt this way to me. Like you feel like you're shorter in the game.
You are shorter. Oh, in the game.
See, that's why I didn't even want to bring that up.
He didn't even want to say that word. Stature, height,
right,
shortness.
Like I just feel like it's never felt like a normal FPP.
It does. It does feel like you're face to face with the doorknob in that game
yeah.
when you play in first person. It's so annoying. And that's when I play Call of Duty and Battlefield in first person, it feels so natural. But PUBG is the only game where I feel like a Smurf when I play. Play in first person. Like I have to go out a door. I'm like, let me reach up to the doorknob. I have to shoot out a window. I have to like jump up and down to get my gun to go over. It's like, geez, how short are these guys? Like I'm short, obviously in real life I'm short, but I don't have to like reach up to turn my doorknob. That's what it feels like in PUBG, you know?
Yeah.
So I totally get that. But I do remember, I think, I don't know if this is 100% true because I can't remember the source, but I think when first person came out, Brendan Green, the original Player Unknown, said, this is the way I intended it. It's a more hardcore experience in first person. I'm not 100% sure if he said that, but I saw several places that quoted him as saying that. And I think it made sense because I think he is Irish, or I don't think he's not Asian, that's for sure. Yeah. So I think he was more into like the first person gameplay, but I think the studio he worked with to develop it was about the third person gameplay. So kind of makes sense that it eventually split off into two directions.
Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah, you got anything that you want to talk about?
I mean, there's all kinds of things we could talk about. I do have one subject I would like to talk about because I think this might apply to both of us. So I'm going to ask you a question.
All right.
By the way, your hairline's looking good today.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. I'm glad your barber didn't keep, taking an inch off every time you get.
I switched barbers.
Messed it up a little bit.
I switched barbers. Yeah.
Good decision. Had to let it grow out a little bit. Right?
Oh my God. I had to let it grow out for like 5 months before I could go to a new barber and get it, taken care of.
The struggles of being in your 50s. Oh, wait, no.
Well, first of all, you are older than me. All right.
By like 4 or 5 months. All right. So my question for you.
Yep.
If you did not have if you were not a streamer or a content creator of any type, would you still be as passionate about gaming as you are now? If you take away the ability to just you, not everybody else, just if you don't live stream, don't make content, you just have a passion for gaming, would you still be as passionate about it as you are now with doing YouTube and Kick and live streaming content, or would it fade away or just not be the same? Would you still game at all? Tell me about that. That's my question.
Yeah, I would play. I mean, before I was even decided to be a content creator or even try it out to see if it's something that I enjoyed, I was playing games 8 hours a day. Like I've always
Nice.
played video games since I was little. I love gaming. I think we were like our generation, you and I, like we're in the like the prime state of gaming growing up, right? Like so I've always gamed. Gaming is my passion. I just want to like game all the time. Like I want to do it as a living, you know what I'm saying? Like whether I am doing it as a content creator or not, like I just want to play video games, man. I love it and I'll never stop loving it. I'll be 60 years old and be playing video games. I
So
would
you're a
probably play,
gamer through and through.
yeah, I mean, I would probably play more story mode games because that's all I
Mm.
used to play back in the day
Right.
was story mode games. So I would probably play more of those if I wasn't a content creator.
That's interesting. So then my next question, based on your answer, is why did you want to share your gaming experience with others through YouTube videos and live streams? What was the initial thoughts on, like, what made you get into it? What made you curious about from the very, before you ever recorded any gameplay? What was that first thought that crept into your mind that thought, how can I record my gameplay and share it with other people?
It wasn't necessarily like that mindset of like sharing it with other people. I I always wanted to be a entertainer. No, not a dancer. All right, like I know that went through your mind because you're a
It
sicko.
didn't.
Um,
It is now, but it didn't before.
I wanted to be an actor growing up, and so like I was like, how can I? And then like so, not only did I want to be an actor, but as I got older, I started to like think of like how can I inspire others to do what they love to do. So I just tried to put the two together, right? So it's like, oh, can I game and entertain and get my feeling of acting on stream and inspiring others to do what they love to do, whether it be
It makes
gaming
sense.
or can I inspire them to just like they see me doing something that I love to do. Now that'll inspire them to do something that they love to do. So
Motivational.
yeah.
Because correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't you mention years ago that you had considered being some kind of motivational speaker, and you thought you came to the decision that it would be best to spread that positive message through gaming
Yeah.
and live streaming or gaming it specifically?
Yeah. I mean, just because I don't know, like as a, like today in this day and age, like what could be the best way to get out there, right? It's through the social media. So, like I just felt like gaming was my way of being able to get it out there instead of sitting in front of a camera and trying to put out a motivational speech. Not saying I would never do it. I mean, I have thought about it, but I would just
No, I
rather.
mean, that's really good though, because you took the thing you love, gaming, and you took your aspiration to inspire other people and combined the two so you could do them both at the same time and in a way that made sense to you and to other people watching.
Right. And I get to enjoy it while I'm doing it. You know what I'm saying?
Which slowly spiraled into, you just screaming at your teammates for laying on the ground and letting the enemies walk on top.
Look, I've gotten so much better of like not
What do you mean? Where is he? He just walked on you, bro. Come on, Jeezy. Wake up.
No. Now, see, me and Jeezy might talk some stuff back and forth to each other, but it's never about the game. It's always about sports or some shit like that. But now, if you would have said Deshaun, now me and Deshaun go at each other.
Oh, that was Deshaun, wasn't it? Yeah. You're like, bro, he just walked over you. I remember that.
Oh, man. Yeah, so, I mean, but yeah, you got anything?
So walk me through a day in Joy Jules' life if you didn't have the streaming and content creation. What would you do? Would you just come home after work and game, or or how would your life change? Because I ask you that because I think of that with myself and how much time I spend pushing out content and live streams, and I think to myself, if I wasn't doing that, which I do enjoy doing that, but I can't help but ask myself, if I wasn't doing that, what would I replace it with? Would I still play PUBG for 3 to 4 hours a day, or would I do something else? Would I still be as interested in gaming, or would I not be? And some of those questions I really can't answer until you're in that actual situation, because you can have like an idea of what you do, but you never know until you're actually sitting there with 4 hours of free time and you're like, how do I fill it? So what do you think you would do if you just didn't stream or make content at all anymore, and you didn't have any responsibility and you only game just for the satisfaction of it? Would you still be as into battle royales? Would you go back to story mode games? Like, would you spend more time at the gym or doing other things, or what?
That is exactly what I was going to say. I would probably cut my gaming in half a little bit and just start to put more into my body and, working out more and playing basketball more. Like, I'm starting to get that, I don't know. It's kind of weird when I explain this to people, but I haven't played ball like competitively since my dad died. And, he actually died 4 years ago today.
Wow.
Yeah. But I'm starting to get that feeling back. And I can't explain it. And it's not like my dad played basketball with me, because he never did, but like there's some kind of connection between my dad and basketball. So it's like, once I lost my dad, I lost my love for
But now
basketball.
you're starting to feel that urge to play again.
Yeah.
Since it's been 4 years.
Yeah. And so, I would probably be in the gym more, play basketball more, and then in my free time, I would probably play more story mode games. I really enjoyed the Uncharted series, and so I would maybe try to find some games that are similar to that and play that off. Play that in my free time.
Do you feel pressure right now because of YouTube and Kick to only play shooter games?
I don't know if it's pressure, but it's just like, I know that relatively nobody shows up for those games. Like,
I can relate to this feeling.
Yeah. So it's like, I got the back when I was playing like the Uncharted's, before I was like playing before PUBG came out on console, I was playing like the story mode Uncharted's and stuff like that, and people were showing up for that. And I actually used to get more viewers playing Battlefield, because I used to play at like 11 p.m. to like 3 o'clock in the morning, and so I would get everybody from like India and like overseas that is watching in at one time. So I'd have like 40 to 50 people watching, but it was because of the time that I had played.
Well, I remember when you were playing PUBG on Xbox, just like both of us had a huge increase in numbers when that was popular. I would go to your stream sometimes and occasionally see several hundred people, watching. And that was a fun time.
It was definitely a fun time. And I mean, hopefully one day we can get back to that. It was just, and not so much, not for myself. It was just like for the community. Like, it was like, like everybody just like chilling in the chat, talking. Like, it was just like,
yep.
There was nothing like it, really.
It was a way more positive vibe.
Yeah.
Back then, for sure. I think it's a little bit more toxic now, because there's a lot of other battle royales and people have like all their opinions now on what battle royales they play and why they play and what perspective you play in. But back then, when it first came out on Xbox, it was just like everybody was kind of unified and like, oh, we've been waiting for this for so long. We can finally play on Xbox and parachute down and get stuck in a crate. But I love it.
Yeah.
Remember the walls loading in? You would be like, oh, I can run into this building. Nope, I'm in a wall now.
Yeah. Then you have to like start the whole game all over.
Yep. Man. It was so annoying back then, but we didn't realize we were playing PUBG at its peak. That's for sure.
Yeah, PUBG at its peak.
That was peak PUBG right there.
Worst,
yeah. That says something about how good the concept is and how bad the execution was.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, Oh man, I just want that feeling again. I want
Yeah,
that feeling
me
again.
too.
Yeah.
But I want it differently. I understand that you can't, and going through life, whether it's gaming or whatever, you can't just live in nostalgia, and you have to hope for those new feelings that you've never experienced before. Because even if you can't imagine what they are, they're out there. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna look back at this point in your life right now, at some point, and be like, oh man, I wish I could go back to the way it was right there. You know,
Right.
got to focus on the little positives, and always hold out hope for that next big thing that you don't see coming until it smacks you in the face, and then you're like, yeah, this is it.
That's exactly what PUBG did.
Yeah,
know?
exactly.
Like I was
But it's not going to do it again, is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
There'll be something
yeah.
else.
Right.
There'll be something else that gives us the same or a different feeling that's just as good.
Yeah, and I'm all for it. Like I just want, like, I know I'm like not a young man anymore, but like that feeling of like I cannot wait to play that game. Like every
Yeah.
day. Like even if it's just for an
Like you
hour
wake
or
up in the
two.
morning and you're like, let me get done with breakfast and work real quick so I can get back and play the game.
Well,
Maybe I can get something
unfortunately,
good.
I don't work, remotely, and
Well, then I used to, when I had a more strict schedule, I used to wake up like hours early just to get a couple hours of gameplay recorded, before work and stuff. And then while I was at work, I'd be like, how do I want to edit this gameplay? The point was, I was always thinking, about getting back to the game and the content and everything.
yeah. And
So,
like when I was like Battlefield and then like transitioning into PUBG, like I would wake up at 4 a.m. and stream until 7 when I had to leave for work. You know what I'm saying? Like it was
yeah.
just like that feeling, just like I didn't care about sleep. Like it was probably bad for me, but it was just like so good for like my mental, like just being able to like have
Not
something to
bad.
look forward to.
If you have a Celsius Fantasy Vibe, sponsor me, Celsius. Who needs sleep when you have 200 milligrams of healthy caffeine?
Wait, is
in
it
your
200
fantasy
milligrams in
vibes?
there?
No.
I didn't
Yes,
think so.
it is.
Really?
Wait, no.
It's like 75, right?
Let me see. 200 milligrams.
Really?
Yeah. It says right there. I probably can't see it unless it focuses, but caffeine. Yeah, you can see it now. Caffeine content, 200 milligrams.
Damn.
Right below the black line.
So I don't know if this is in my head, but like when I used to drink those Celsius, like because it says like it's like you burn at the same time, like when you drink it. I think that's the one, right?
Oh, like fat
yeah,
burn?
yeah. It's supposed to like help you burn calories or something like that.
Anything that has caffeine in that is allowed to say it, because caffeine is a natural appetite suppressant. So people think there's this magical thing about certain drinks that help you burn fat. No, that is just saying we have a lot of caffeine in this drink. It'll make you less hungry. So you'll be burning more fat because you won't be raising your sugar levels by eating so quick after you drink this.
Okay.
That's all they're saying. That is it. There's no magical fat burn formula in these drinks. It's just caffeine doesn't make you as hungry.
Well, the reason why I say that is because it like, how some things it's like when you read it, you tell yourself that it's working, right?
Yeah.
And so like I would drink the Celsius and then I would be like, oh man, I'm sweating. Like this is actually helping me burn. And I'm like, no, it's like,
placebo.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll tell you, the only thing that really does that is walking up and down stairs and vegetables. That's how you get ripped, lose all the fat. That's how you do it.
You were asking me what I did. I didn't give you advice on like what would help.
I said,
you.
Look, bro, you're in better shape than me. So I was like, I want to get more healthy. Can you give me some advice? And I was like so serious about it and was hoping for like this big list of things that you do to keep yourself healthy. And you're like, I don't know, walk up some stairs and eat vegetables. I'm like,
first of all, you asked me like at the wrong time.
See how it is.
Like, I remember you asked me like, I don't know. It was just the wrong time. I was dealing with a lot of stuff, and
you are? Okay.
And I was like, like I eat a lot of veggies and chicken breasts or whatever, and I run stairs and do calisthenics type stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like that's all I could, because I can't tell you what to do if I'm not doing it, right? So it's like I'm not lifting. I'm not deadlifting.
I mean, coaches coach football teams without, playing.
Yeah,
so,
but they literally study that stuff. Like I don't study lifting weights because I was never really a weightlifter. Like I did boxing, and in boxing we did our own body weight. So it's like, that's what I was used to. But yeah. So I apologize for the poor advice. Obviously, you did take it, and look at the shape that you're in right now.
Julie Jules. There it is.
Oh man. All right. You got anything else that you want to talk about?
I think we hit most all the points. I mean, honestly, I didn't even know exactly what we were going to talk about other than just some gaming stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I don't have much to add. I think you talked a lot about PUBG, which I enjoyed because that's the only game I really know stuff about. And you answered my question about your motivation behind gaming and content creation. So, no, I don't really have anything else. I was just joking about Taylor Swift. I mean, if you want to do that, we have to add an extra 3 hours. We can talk about her all you want.
Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, I don't have a couple more hours to do that, but maybe the next time. I would like to do this more often. Even if it's like maybe once a week or even maybe once every couple of weeks. I mean, just to kind of talk about life and gaming and whatever.
Yeah, I would like it too. I mean, we could even do something where we could both upload, so because obviously I don't want to upload this and take away the views from you, especially because it's your idea, but we could eventually move on to some kind of like podcast thing, the Average and Jules podcast or something like that, where we both record it and upload it to our channels and promote each other, So I'd be down to do that because I always enjoy these talks.
I'm totally down for that. And if you want to upload it on your channel, go for it, man. I explain to people like how much you've done to help me. Like I would be super selfish to say, do not upload.
Well, there's no reason for me to upload this because this is your idea and everything. I want to link to the one that you make on my community page. That's what I want to do. But if we do this more often in the future, then it is good content for both of us. So I would enjoy it because you're real easy to talk to about this gaming stuff. We both come from different backgrounds and different motivations for gaming, but we both ended up in like the same place. So that's what makes it so interesting. Because if you have two people that are identical and are just like sitting there agreeing with each other the whole time, it's boring. But I can be like, fuck you, you're short, and this is why.
Yeah, but if we talk about shortness, then we are the same, except for I'm a little bit taller than you, and my car is a little bit bigger than yours. So,
are you people seeing this? Look at this height difference. This is not camera positioning.
He raised his chair up for y'all to make it seem it's mind games. But before we get off of here, what was your motivation for gaming and deciding like, I want to do this, as well as because I remember you first started out without a camera. Like there's a lot of people that start out without a camera and they still don't have a cam. So like,
I didn't start out as a live streamer.
Right. It was just the content, right?
When I started live streaming, by the time I started live streaming, I think I already had like around 30,000 subscribers.
Okay.
It was all content up until then. And I did some test streams occasionally, but I didn't actually start regular live streaming until Battlefield Hardline. I would live stream Hotwire lobbies, and that was fun. But then I really nailed down the schedule, and I still don't have a solid schedule. But when I say nailed down the schedule, I mean streaming 3 to 5 times a week. When Battlefield 1 came out, we had the live stream team, which changed a lot, but it was like me and Thorfinn and Waxy Chicken and Sam and Brandon and Rogue. That was his name, Rogue. And we did a lot of Battlefield 1 stuff, and that slowly faded away and moved to PUBG and just started streaming that. But what do you ask? What's the actual question here? My motivation for gaming in general or streaming in general or both?
Both.
Okay, so I've always been a gamer since 1988 when my dad brought home a Commodore computer before Windows was even a thing. We had to put 5.5-inch floppy disks in, slide the thing down, and type in commands like MS-DOS commands. It wasn't even MS-DOS back then. I don't think it was owned by Microsoft. It was just DOS or something else entirely. I don't know. But we had to type in commands to like start a game that was on the disk. This was before computers had hard drives built into them. Mm-hmm. Like only the incredibly expensive computers had dedicated hard drives. You would put a disk in, turn the computer on, and the computer would boot to whatever file system was on that disk. And if it was a game, you would have to type in some commands to see where the game was and then type in the exe and the game would start. And it would be like Atari in television type of graphics, you know. So I got started with gaming when I was like 4 years old in like 88, 89, when my dad brought home a computer, showed us how to use it. And then we were very sheltered children, so we didn't have much to do other than play games on our computers, and we were not allowed to have consoles. We can only play games on our computer. I don't know what the reasoning behind that was, other than they didn't want us sitting around playing video games all day, but it was okay as long as we were doing it on a PC.
Okay.
So I have to say my parents were hashtag PC Master Race from the 80s. Vacations to my grandma's, we would get to play SNES and Mario and Double Dragon, Battletoads, you know, whatever we could play.
Those are
We
the
would
greatest
go
games
to the game
ever.
rental place and do it. Yeah, aren't they? So we would only get 2 weeks a year, and we would know life those games. And we were in Florida. We lived in Indiana, and we would come to Florida for vacation. So instead of going to the pool and everything, we would spend all our spare time just playing as much console games as we could. Took a big break from gaming when I got older, and like middle school and high school, I didn't game much. But when I moved out and Xbox 360 came out and I saw how crazy the graphics were, I got back into gaming, started playing Gears of War, Dead or Alive, and eventually Call of Duty. And I really enjoyed the Xbox controller, and I did that for like 5 or 6 years before I finally switched back to PC. But I saw people making YouTube videos of their gameplay, and I would have like these really fantastic gameplays, and I would want to share them with people. But it actually goes back before that, before social media existed, before there was a MySpace, before there was a Facebook, when the internet was basically in its infancy stages, before people had a lot of cell phones. I had built a website for one of the games I played where people could upload level packs and make reviews, and that website was getting thousands of hits per day. Back then, that was the equivalent of hundreds of thousands, if not millions. You know, like if a site was getting millions of views today, that would be the equivalent in the year 2000 for the thousands of hits per day my site was getting. And this was before ad-based revenue. So I wasn't making any money. I was doing this because part of my enjoyment with video games is sharing my experience with other people. So before there was live streaming, social media, being able to record your gameplay, I was building websites for the games that I enjoyed and sharing content as much as I could on like a dial-up modem, you know?
Yeah.
So that was my motivation for gaming, and in general is to share my experience with other people. I've always been interested in multiplayer games, never had an interest for story mode games. And if it's multiplayer, even if it's just me and my brother in the basement playing from one computer to another over a LAN, I'm into it, you know? And if I can share that content with other people so they can feel my experience at the same time, that's what really got me into recording my gameplay, uploading videos, and later into streaming. If you were to take away the streaming and the video content creation aspect, I would still get some enjoyment out of playing games and do it occasionally. But ever since I was a kid, half my motivation for gaming has always been to share that experience with other people. So I would say if you take that away, I'd be half the gamer, you know, that I am today, because that's always been my motivation. It's not like when YouTube came out, I changed. I was always interested in finding ways to share my gameplay with other people. That was just a big thing for me. I've always been fascinated with the internet and sharing information, and gaming and information sharing, I think, just goes hand in hand for me. So
Damn.
that's why I got into it. My dad got me into gaming by giving us computers and games to play on when we were kids. And because we always had internet access, I got into the social media aspect of it even before it was so user friendly and anybody, you know, could do it. I was all about making websites for the games I loved, just, you know, fan websites and stuff.
That's awesome. And like I said, like I remember you telling me that story before, and I'm like this dude is like intelligent. Like not anybody can just do what you did. You know what I'm saying? So like, and that might.
It was more of a fascination of the early internet. Like I was simply lucky enough to have parents that provided me with a computer and full internet access at such an early age. I mean, growing up in the 90s as a preteen and teenager, almost none of my friends had computers. I was like the only one.
Mm-hmm.
My brother did too, and he was way more into the gaming than I was. I liked the games, but I focused highly on information sharing and how to build websites and how to make graphics. You know, it fascinated me. So I'm not saying I'm unintelligent, but that was more like my hobby. You know, like I was like, I want to know how to share information. And I have this tool called the internet that's brand new and everybody's starting to use it. And how can I be the one that builds this stuff? Nowadays, I'm less interested in building stuff because it's so advanced and so corporate now. It's seriously been taken over, you know, by it's just huge. You know, you got Amazon and Google and YouTube and Kick and Twitch and all these huge corporate streaming sites. So there's less of a wild, wild west internet for users like me. And now we just use the tools that these big companies provide to share our content. But back then it was more fascinating for me because you had to do it from scratch. You had to build your own website. You had to write your own code. You had to know how to do it. And it wasn't that hard. It was just a fascination. I would compare it to the same as someone that like wants to teach themselves how to play piano. It might be hard, but if you have a passion for it, you can teach yourself how to read those notes and how to play and practice and practice and practice, even without a teacher, until you get better. So that's how it was for me with gaming and internet sharing. I just spent all my time as a young person teaching myself the things that fascinated me,
Yeah.
So
Fun fact. And this was like before I even started like YouTube, I would upload gameplay from the PS4 onto Facebook.
Oh yeah.
And so like, and it's funny because like I was doing this before there was even
You
like,
could do that from PS4, right?
yeah,
It had social media links. Like you could do those 30-second clips and tell it to upload like the 480, 720 version. And
yeah. But then I started doing like full games. So it'd be like 20-minute matches of Battle or Star Wars Battlefront.
oh,
You know what I'm
sweet.
saying? Like, and it was like I didn't
So you just built on it from there.
I
You're like, I want to do more with this.
exactly like, and I wanted to put more effort into it because it's like not I could only do so much from a PS4, right? It was like, okay,
Yeah.
I can just upload it, but I can't edit it or anything like that. Actually, I think you could edit, but I didn't want to spend the time on
To
it.
a small degree.
Yeah.
I remember that. I had a PS4 and I would play around with the editing features. But by the time I had a PS4, I already had a capture card too. So I was like, why mess around with this pleb stuff when I can just full on capture it in 1080?
Yeah. I mean,
No.
yeah, so yeah, that's all I got. I got some things I gotta go do. But I appreciate you spending some time this morning and talking gaming, man.
Yeah. Can I throw out my socials?
Yeah, please.
Yeah. Average Sniper on YouTube, Average Sniper on Feet Finder, Average Sniper on OnlyFans. Check me out.
Feet Finder. Write that down.
Only if you like hairy feet.
Oh man. All right, man. Appreciate you. And for those who did tune in, thank you guys so much for checking it out. Hit the like button if you enjoyed, hit the sub if you are new, and make sure you go check out Average Sniper's channel as well if you're new. And the link to his channel will be down in the description. And like I said, thanks again, Average. Appreciate it.
Yep. It was fun. Thanks, man.
Yes, sir.